Hi, my name's Landon, and I felt like I've done nothing with my life. Before I get into that, just want to give you some background about myself. First off, I wrote the script back in October of 25, and it is now December of 25, and I still haven't made this video. So, yeah, I am finally making it. Anyway, my name's Landon. I'm 25 years old. I'm married. I'm a software engineer. And, I pursued software engineering because I was good at math, good at science. And I was told that's what I should do because I'm good at math and science. I also had a hobby of building computers. But all that to say, if I told you that I enjoyed my career, I'd be lying. Growing up, I didn't really feel loved from my family. I wouldn't say it's because they didn't love me. I think it was more of I just felt incapable of being loved by them. Especially my dad, there would be a lot of times where I just didn't feel like he loved me. He would always say, "I'm proud of you, I love you," just different things like that. I did have some, just hardships with him growing up, but it just was hard for me to feel loved. And I think coming into my adult life, it's left a lingering feeling of just inadequacy and just not being able to do things. I've struggled with mental health since I was 16, at least clinically. I wouldn't be surprised if, before that I had something, right? My junior year of high school, I skipped maybe 25 days of school. And my senior year, I skipped about 30 due to just mental health, right? And if it wasn't for my mom begging the school to not get me in trouble, I would have been in a lot of trouble. There's like resource officers or whatever that should have done something, but I had good grades, so I guess they just brushed it off for whatever reason. I also self-harmed for about 2 years from the time I was 16 until I was about 18. Nothing super severe, but I still self-harmed. I also struggled with suicidal thoughts and tendencies, I guess. I never tried to kill myself, but there have been a couple times where I almost tried to kill myself. I was in a cult until I was about 16 years old. It wasn't like a typical drink the Kool-Aid type of cult, but it was a cult nonetheless. There were a lot of unorthodox or heretical views, but it is an offshoot of like Pentecostal and Baptist Christianity, whatever. It's not great. Anyway, I became a Christian when I was 18 after starting school or college, I guess. And ever since then, I've struggled with my faith. Not like ever since I became a Christian, I struggled with my faith, but since then, I have struggled with my faith. When I was 19 years old, I got into a bad car accident. I was a front passenger in the car. I was leaned back all the way. I was told by the friend that was driving that I told him, "I'm going to go to sleep now because I'm tired." I leaned back. I don't remember that. But we got T-boned in the back. Looking back at the pictures, I think I should have died. The whole back passenger seat was just crushed in completely. And I looked at that. I'm like, dude, how am I still alive? Thankfully, I didn't really have any life-changing injuries. I just had a really bad concussion. I don't remember any of the wreck. I don't remember anything up until 12 to 24 hours after the wreck. I was told that I repeated the same three things over and over again, which was I in a car wreck? Was anyone hurt? And have you thanked the Lord that I'm still alive? The first memory I have post-car wreck is being in the MRI machine and just hearing the whirring. And then I think they put like headphones over me and they played classical music. But that was my first memory. And my first thought was, am I in hell? Like, it's just pitch black, whirring, classical music. Anyway, yeah, I pretty sure that I had undiagnosed PTSD from that. I would have recurring nightmares of getting in car wrecks and different things like that. I fell into like a deep depression after that. And I had to start taking meds again for that. When I was 23, I was diagnosed with CVID, or common variable immunodeficiency, which basically means I don't have much of an immune system. Got diagnosed after about 8 months of being sick. And the diagnosis or disease or whatever has completely altered my life. I don't have much energy. It's stolen most of my energy, which has been really hard because I like to do things. I like to hang out with people. I don't know. I'm a doer, I guess. That's kind of how I was raised, and just, I guess, what's within me. And I've had to completely adjust my life to this. I get sick fairly often too, which sucks. And it's really hard to navigate this and the modern, corporate mumbo jumbo life. I don't know. And it's also hard to tell people because they don't really see the illness. They don't see the sickness that I have. It's not really surface level. So when you tell people, oh, I'm tired or I'm fatigued, they're like, oh, well, aren't we all? Like, it's just life. Suck it up. But how I describe it to people who actually care about me and I guess listen to me is it feels like waking up from that car crash that I had when I was 19. Just your whole body is just sore and fatigued all the time. There's a lot of days that I struggle to get out of bed because I'm just fatigued. And keeping a job and keeping a normal life with this is just really hard. Yeah. Right before I turned 24, I started having these things, I guess what I called gasping attacks. Kind of what would happen is I felt like I was losing consciousness. Like my head would fall down, I'd close my eyes, and then I'd go like, gasp for air. And it would happen like 100 times a day. At least right when it first started. But a lot of 2024, I just looked for answers. I went through so many tests and I didn't really get any answers. It was just, I don't know. But it kind of went to just when I go to sleep at night. So it only happens now, thankfully, for the most part. Yeah, but still happens every night. I think I've kind of boiled it down to anxiety, because it's happened there's one time, sometime last year that I was having like a mini panic attack or whatever, and it happened. So I almost like chalk it up to like, yeah, it's anxiety. Maybe it's like PTSD from the car wreck because, I fell asleep after it. I don't know. Like, this is me like grasping for straws, right? But But yeah, that also sucks. My entire life, I've just struggled feeling inadequate at everything. Like even small things like doing the laundry or doing the dishes or cleaning my cat's litter box. It sometimes takes me all day to do that. Just because I don't feel like I can. Like I don't know. Just like simple things like that. And obviously that's affected more than just little things like my career. The entire time I've been in my career, I've just had feelings of just imposter syndrome. Like I know absolutely nothing. Yeah. I just feel like I'm incapable of doing things, especially hard things. It comes in waves. For the past, I don't know, maybe 6 months, I've been doing pretty all right. Just like mental health wise and just my view on life, I guess. But there are times it just gets really, really bad. And I'm just not able to function, I guess. I don't know. The way that I explain it to my wife is I have to be more mindful than the average person with the things that I do, the habits that I create, or the thoughts that I engage with, or I just spiral fast. And it's pretty fast. Like within a week, like I can just be, just in another mental health crisis, I guess. So I have to work daily to just, I don't know, keep my mind functioning how it should be, which kind of sucks. And yeah, I mean, I think, I've had a conversation with one of my friends about this. It's like some personality trait thing, but I don't know what it is, but like there's neuroticism on it, which is just like being emotional, right? And I'm just an emotional person. But usually, at least what he said is neurotic people are more creative and, which is cool. Like I make music, like that's what I plan to do here, right? But at the same time, I just feel like it's a curse, but it's also a blessing. So it's like a double-edged sword, I don't know, just kind of rambling. I say all of this, not for pity or anything like that, but to kind of just give you a background of who I am, and so that maybe you can understand when I say, hi, my name's Landon, and I feel like I've done nothing with my life. I'm making this video and channel for a multitude of reasons. The first being that I want to get out of the mindset that I'm incapable of doing hard things. Second, I want to follow my passion of writing and recording music. I neglected to mention this, I think, at the beginning of the video, but I like music. I'm a musician. Yeah, I've been writing music since I was about 17. So I've been writing music for about 8 years now. For the past 2 years, I've been part of a band called I Will Remember This. And my friend / bandmate, Parker, he's done all of the mixing and mastering. And I feel like I've used him kind of as a crutch to not learn this stuff myself. Third, I want to be able to tell my future kids that I at least tried to follow my dreams. Growing up, you always hear, go follow your dreams. But once you become an adult, all of that just dies, I guess. Everyone tells you, be realistic. Go get a job that makes money, yada, yada, yada. Don't follow your dreams. Don't be an idiot. So I'm going to try to follow my dreams. Because when I tell my kids, when I look them in the eye and say, son or daughter, I want you to follow your dreams, I want to be able to say that, not as a hypocrite. So what kind of dad would I be to, tell my kids to do something when I haven't even done that or tried? Fourth, if all else fails, I will have gained skills in writing scripts, video editing, mixing, mastering, speaking to a camera, which I am deathly afraid of, and I guess just general public speaking. So, I'm still gaining something, I guess. So part of this channel is going to be dedicated to that. It's just me learning, the music production process, mixing, mastering, recording videos. And another part of it is just going to be me being real, being human, showing you who I am, and I guess just walking through what I've been through, in hopes that maybe someone can glean something off my experiences. Also just sprinkling in my faith, and I guess just what I've struggled with my faith and how it's affected my life in different ways. Whether that be the struggling part or the faith part. But yeah, I also just want to talk about how music and writing music has brought a lot of healing to my life. All that to say, I've taken a lot of bets in my life, and I think it's time to bet on myself. Till next time, be genuine.